Sugar coat them like most raisin brands do. Post Natural Raisin Bran. Great taste doesn't need sugar coating.
Other dealers say they care, but Fairfield Ford proves it. For a limited time only, you get U.S. Road Guard Rescue Service free with any new car purchase. That's right, Fairfield Ford gives you U.S. Road Guard protection round the clock, 7 days a week, from emergencies like a flat tire, locked out, dead battery, out of gas. Fairfield Ford, 147th and Cicero in Midlothian. Come on down.
We all have our beauty secrets. Mine? Well, it's not this hair. It's a diet soft drink. I don't mean Diet Pepsi or Diet Coke. It's Crystal Light. Perfect after exercise, or even just thinking about exercise. Terrific taste. And this little beauty's only 4 calories.
Crystal Light Diet Soft Drink Mix. 100% NutraSweet.
And that's my secret.
We now return to In Search of Noah's Ark.
1969, Fernand Navarre decided to climb the mountain again. The famous French explorer who'd startled the world in 1955 by finding wood agreed to join the Scientific Exploration and Archaeological Research Team, known as SEARCH. Navarre wanted to prove that he could lead another expedition back to the same ark embedded in the glacial ice pack on Ararat, and hopefully recover some more wood. After retracing Navarre's steps up the treacherous mountain, the search team struggled to locate wood in the same crevasses where Navarre found his 1955 wood. But the crevasses were not melted as deep as they were in 1955, and no wood was found in them. Then, Navarre decided to probe the bottom of a small pond adjacent to the artifact ice pack. The team's probing poles did not reach to the bottom. Next, Navarre started probing a small runoff stream from the pond. At 11:15 on July 31st, 1969, Navarre and the search team struck pay dirt. 5 pieces of wood resembling planking, with the longest piece nearly 17 inches long. This new additional find confirmed Navarre's discovery, and for many scientists proved conclusively that Noah had indeed stepped forth onto dry land here on Mount Ararat. The 1969 expedition supplied new evidence to support the broken ark theory. After finding the wood by the pond, scientists determined that a part of the ark was caught in a moving ice flow and was continually moving within the glacier. So if the ark was here, on the northwest side of the mountain, and if, during the earthquake and volcanic eruption of 1840, it was broken in half, then approximately half of the ark slid down about 2,000 feet to another ledge, leaving wood planks strewn in its path. The other half, probably the front, remained intact, wedged in the rocks above. This explains why, at times, the ark appears to be protruding from the ice intact. And this explains how Fernand Navarre was able to find wood from the ark here. Since the 1969 search expedition, much more evidence has been found to support this theory. In July 1972, NASA launched the Landsat satellite. Its mission to maintain, inventory, and assess the world's natural resources. But as it circled the Earth at an altitude of 520 miles, it performed an unexpected service. It photographed Noah's Ark. By use of remote sensing, the Landsat satellite transmits data to receiving stations on Earth. The information is stored on videotape, then electronically transferred to film negatives from which photographs can be made. We traveled to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and visited the Eros Data Center, the government facility for handling and storing these photographs. This is the main reproduction center here at Eros. As you can see by the way I'm dressed, conditions within this center must be very carefully controlled as to temperature, humidity, but most particularly dust. They have to be, in order to maintain the integrity and the incredible accuracy of the Landsat imagery. In a few minutes, this machine will produce for us what appears to be a picture, but what is actually built-up imagery of the data sent by the Landsat satellite. This photograph of New York was taken by the Landsat satellite. But AROS also stores photographs taken from the Skylab Orbital Laboratory and U-2 flights. All three are used by scientists to help us better control the use of our natural resources. This is the Landsat satellite photograph of Mount Ararat. It's remarkably detailed, considering it was taken from an altitude of 520 miles. Unfortunately, visual evaluation alone could never tell for sure whether the Ark is on the mountain. The examination of photographs is not the only means of evaluating the information we've received from Landsat satellite. There is also the technique of computerized electronic analysis, as practiced here in this laboratory. Dr. Waltz, nice to see you, sir.
How are you?
Now, what do we have here?
We have an image from the Landsat satellite. This particular image has the Turkish border.
This is the whole Turkish frontier area.
Right. This is an overview of the entire scene.
Now, would it be possible to get this enlarged so that we could get a closer view of Mount Ararat itself?
Yes, we'll magnify this particular area right there. Dale, would you go ahead and punch in the commands?
As new data was fed into the computer, the image was transformed to a close-up of Mount Ararat and the surrounding area. Based on all the eyewitness sightings of the Ark, we knew that this area was most likely the location of the Ark. Dr. Waltz then inserted a cursor in the shape of a rectangle around the suspected area. The computer was then asked to make a 6-time magnification of the area. The blocking effect you see is the result of this magnification. Each block or pixel, also known as picture element, represents 1 acre of territory. Next, we took our cursor, moved it to the electronic window of the suspected area. The cursor was then reduced to the size of a pixel and inserted into one of the blocks. Then, we asked the computer to tell us which pixels have the same spectral data or reflective light patterns as the block now containing the cursor. Those that are the same would turn green. The first picture element tested showed a common reflective pattern, meaning it was similar in most respects to the surrounding area. Next, we moved the cursor to the location described by the eyewitnesses. When the computer was activated, it was the only spot of the mountain to turn green. Now, Doctor, what does this actually tell us?
This is the only pixel or picture element that has that specific reflectivity in this general vicinity.
Then we know from the electronic data analysis that this is the only thing on the entire mountain of Ararat or any of the surrounding territory which has this particular reflective pattern in all 4 bands of the spectrum.
It most likely is.
Let me, in effect, put you on the hook, Doctor. Is it possible that that is Noah's Ark?
Well, I could not discount that possibility.
Yes, the satellite data confirms the possible location of the Ark, but it doesn't prove conclusively that the Ark is there. If we had no further data than the Landsat imagery, we might never be positive. But we do have further data. We have actual photographs. This picture was released in 1974 by Ark scholar Errol Cummings. It shows what looks like the broken part of a ship resting in the bottom of a crevasse. If the broken Ark theory is valid, then this would be the broken half which slipped down the mountain during the 1840 earthquake. But what about the forepart of the ship? Does it truly rest on a ledge about 2,000 feet higher? The answer came in late September of 1974, when an expedition from the Holy Ground Mission in Frankston, Texas, scaled Mount Ararat. Shooting across the Ahora Gorge with a 35mm Minolta camera, they took this picture. It shows what looks like the forepart of a great vessel. The prow can be seen sticking out of the rocks, 2,000 feet above the location of the Errol Cummings photo. When studied under photographic enlargement, the outline of the ship is not only clear, but planking can actually be seen. The planking of Noah's Ark. Yes, it was here, 5,000 years ago on this mountain in eastern Turkey, that Noah, his wife, his 3 sons and their wives landed and unloaded their cargo of animals from an ark that had provided them with safe passage during the Great Flood.
The evidence is overwhelming. We have the biblical accounts, historical accounts, the local accounts of the villages around Ararat, the eyewitness sightings, the discoveries of wood by Fernand Navarra, and the scientific tests. We have seen how the scientific community has carefully examined every aspect of the Ark account. The conclusion is that the greatest story in the Bible, Noah and the Ark, is impeccably true. The Ark is here all right, on this mountain. We could send teams of archaeologists up there right now and attempt a major excavation. But that day must wait. The Turkish government has banned all travel and expeditions to this great mountain. Ararat separates Turkey from Russia, and the political implications of foreigners being on the mountain might easily cause a serious international incident. It's sad when you think about it. The politics of nations now stand in the way of the legacy of man. The Ark must remain here, buried beneath a blanket of ice and snow, until the world is at peace.
But that day will come, for there is more to this than just the story of a great wooden ship. It is the story of Noah, a man of foresight, a man with the ability to build a great ark and survive the deluge, a man of faith, perhaps more than you or I, who could ignore the ridicule of others and finish a long and difficult task, a man who had the strength to rebuild and begin life anew. This is the lesson of Noah and the Ark. It's a lesson which has been taught throughout the ages. It is the simple lesson of peace. For Noah is our link to the past and our hope for the future.